My name is M.Wattie. I'm a child and youth worker. I'm actually a retired child and youth worker. I graduated in 1978 and worked in the field for 34 years and retired in 2012. The bulk of my career has been spent at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario here in Ottawa, where I worked in the mental health patient service unit. I worked on the inpatient psychiatry floor. I worked in a couple of day programs that were for school-related issues, kids who were too anxious or depressed to go to school. I worked in an eating disorder program, and I also worked in the outpatient department of the mental health services at the Children's Hospital. Child and youth work, I want to say I'm also, and have been, a part-time member of the community studies faculty here at Algonquin College for about 25 years. Most of the time that I've been in that role has been teaching third year CYW's course on group work. I want to talk about the scenario that we just saw. It was a pretty interesting scenario, and kind of hard to believe that professionals would behave that way. And my experience teaches or informs me that things like that don't often happen, but because we work with a variety of personnel and disciplines, there's potential for those kind of things to occur. I guess I want to speak specifically to the role of the child and youth worker in this situation. When I look at this scenario, I think that Wendy, I believe her name was probably in the role of someone working either with the Children's Aid Society or with the Youth Services Bureau, or perhaps with an agency like Crossroads. And these are agencies that work with families at risk. And they work with children and families who have behavioral challenges. And I would say that a main focus of the work that they do would be on relationship development, so that that relationship can be used as a catalyst to help families and children and youth learn how to manage their behavior and behave successfully in social situations. Again, when I look at the scenario, when the child and youth worker showed up, it was completely unnoteworthy that she was a child and youth worker. She made no comment to that. She really didn't say anything about who she was and what she was there to do. And I would suggest that that would be not really effective child and youth work. Child and youth workers, because they're so concerned with and interested in relationships, need to be really good communicators. So I think in that particular scenario, something that Wendy could have done differently would be when she arrived on the scene, and I think maybe the nurse was there and maybe the paramedics, just to let them know what her name was and what her role was and how she was involved with the family. Other than that, I think that her role really would be sort of secondary to the police and the paramedics. I would suggest the paramedics really need to have a very focused role, and so as a child and youth worker, I would want her or the person in that role to be stepping back, not getting in their way. If she overheard something that she could speak to, then to do so. Also, there is a child in this scenario that is hiding, so it would be wise for the child and youth worker. Hopefully, she already has a relationship with that child. But she would move in to offer support and comfort and reassurance to that youngster. And again, I think the most important thing would be to clarify what her role was. Really, in the scenario, she looked like she could have been a nosy neighbor. And so, again, I would say communication and identifying who she was, what her role was, would be important. And then to provide support and encouragement and reassurance to the child, and then to step back and make sure that she didn't interfere with the roles of the paramedics or the police. Yeah.